oh, over here on this side of the room, I have lovely backlit fluorescent lights instead of that evil vampire exposing one on the other side of the room. Okay, well, that works. I do feel like I should do some kind of update on my little dress that I haven't finished. Um, really, so again, I think the virus quarantine lockdown kind of off put me on this dress because I do wear purple, but in February, that's my birthday, it's my birthstone, and or maybe kind of for spring. And I was making this as a kind of Regency, maybe in mood, but not a traditional Regency, as in a kind of gather, kind of tie back, like sort of fiddle kind of cut, kind of in the back or with any kind of drop shoulder, but just more of a plain, more 70s perhaps in spirit kind of empire style dress. You can see actually the back line I kind of cut right at the kind of empire level that I need, and then the skirt will come up to this level, perhaps. Um, but maybe I intended this for like kind of a nice Easter dress, and then when the virus kind of happened, I kind of lost interest in the purple. I have enough fabric also where I intended to make this became a sort of twofold project where I intended to make the dress very kind of simple, perhaps, with the black top and the purple skirt. And I posted about it briefly on Instagram, but Instagram does not cooperate with me all the time, and it's just such a pain. So I don't really like being on Facebook with Kbatz Crafts either, but I just like having the opportunity to be able to show all of my step-by-step kind of process and be able to share more photographs with everybody. But this became kind of twofold because I wanted to do a jacket also, sort of that kind of Spencer kind of jacket where maybe that would be the part where I would add maybe a little more flair. I envisioned having it actually be the opposite of having a sort of red kind of maybe double coat with it, nice buttons and collar and, a real kind of poof kind of sleeve, and then have black tails on the jacket where black would drape all the way down. So because I do like color sometimes, certain colors. I like purple in February, and if it's really hot, I may wear navy in the summer, or occasionally maybe like a white kind of accent if it's like super heat wave. And then in the fall, I will wear red. A lot of times, more so, I put color in my wardrobe through when I'm making my own different kind of jewelry kind of style. That's kind of the color that kind of goes with the sort of neutral kind of black palette. So when I wear color, I still feel the need to kind of cover it up with black. So I do have a gray skirt and a red skirt that I have made, but then again, yes, I tend to wear them with kind of flowy, kind of black kind of tops or other kind of sweaters layered over them. So I also kind of like the notion of, oh, at the empire waist, if I had a sort of purple top here and then a really dramatic kind of black flowing kind of coat that when it occasionally opened, you would see this sort of pop of purple. It's just, I'm already now here in the middle of the crazy, pandemic times still. I'm already looking for my fall projects. So I really just kind of want to finish this because I feel like if I don't finish it, I never will. And we all have those kind of unfinished kind of sewing kind of projects. Don't lie, I know you do. So it's like I feel like I need to finish this even just to get it off the dress form to be able to start some of the Halloween kind of projects. I've basted my sleeves on, which I have to try it on again with the sleeves just to make sure that I don't think I'm going to need any kind of gusset. I feel like I have enough space here. And I need to finish, I've got the waistband pinned here, but I have the shirt front longer than the back, just in case I have to do any kind of dart or tucks or something. I really have trouble with darts. And I've spoken before in a couple of different kind of sewing alteration kind of videos about dress forms where a lot of professionals don't like these kind of plastic kind of adjustable ones. And I use them because I also sew for other people. So I obviously have to pad this out for myself. So, and I loathe darts. I have a great problem with darts, doing them in the sides and under the bust. So I'm hoping I won't have to do that. Um, Generally, when I sew for myself, I tend to make a gathered neckline, just to spare me from making darts, or actually gathering at the empire waist. When I'm sewing for myself, that kind of fits my body type best. I do actually I have a lot of this purple. I have whole bolts of this purple, and what I'm doing here, I will eventually write about at horaddicts.net someday. Um, but I already had some previous like scraps of this purple that I would love to use, making a sort of purple stripe on the collar and on the cuffs, as a nice kind of coordinating kind of touch. So the back seams here on the skirt, I think I need to adjust because obviously I always have to hem things because I'm short, and this will be higher up as an empire waist. But again, I have a Regency pattern. Look at that. I can look in my drawer that says patterns because in theory I am organized. I should get something done. And this here was the pattern. I may have posted about talking about doing it. Which I may actually go back to the pattern again, as I said, for the fancy jacket. But even when I'm working with these kind of patterns, I tend to alter them. And I actually save shipping paper. I haven't done now because I've been so afraid of like, are there evil germs on my packages? I haven't used any of the paper or the boxes that we've been doing a lot more delivery. But I save, usually I had been saving previously, all that kind of Kraft kind of paper that comes in storage in the boxes, because that was something that I would use to sort of draft out my own kind of patterns that I could, keep my own measurements for myself and then lay them over commercial kind of patterns and make any changes. So, as I said, if I wanted this to be a sort of modern streamline kind of cut, I didn't want to have that kind of really flowing train gown length on here, but at the same time, when I was doing the fabric, it does just have such a really lovely drape to it, where I know this waist is going to be higher, and I know I will have to hem it a few inches, and again, I will probably be wearing, really high-heeled kind of shoes. And that's not because I'm short, Dad. It's because I spent so much time in ice skates that my feet, I just prefer high heel shoes. And I have felt really weird in this pandemic, like not wearing shoes so much because I haven't gone anywhere to do anything, where I'm kind of like, why does my feet kind of hurt? Oh yeah, because I'm walking around on a bare floor. I'm not spending the day in high heeled shoes like I normally would be. I know I'm going to have a few inches of heel height, but the fabric was so nice that I couldn't help but keep the kind of, I did have to piece this fabric, which is okay. You can piece things together. It's just as long as you iron the seam, which I haven't done back here yet. There is a little bit of a train back here, just enough. So just to keep it maybe a little dramatic, I just didn't want to cut it, because at that point it became like, oh, why can't I just make a nice pretty Regency gown? It's okay. You can do it, right? I dislike Jane Austen. I'm sorry, but I love Regency. And I really think that now I'm going to have to make this bonnet like purple to match. So I have a lot of the purple fabric. And of course, I have 1, 2, 3 bins of black fabric, plus like 2 more bins of black accessories and linen notions. So I have more material that I need to finish this project. It's maybe just a case of motivation, I suppose, which happens to us all, I suppose, especially in crazy times. It's difficult to focus on things, but at the same time, it's also very inspiring when it comes out right. And I guess that's what's maybe the most fun, the most exciting about it. For a long time, I only had the basting stitches on the bodice, but when I put the bodice on, like, it fit great, and it was like, okay, I can do those seams, and then it's like, okay, now is the time to do the waist. I know it would be faster to do the waistband on the machine. There is And it actually somehow, I think I ended up doing this the opposite way, where I have the front gathered, probably because I am bigger in the front, and I have elastic in the back. Or maybe I've got elastic all the way around. Now I don't even remember. It's been so long. It's been like a decade since February, hasn't it? Oh. So I believe maybe I have elastic all the way around, and maybe I just designed it to have more of the gather in the front, which I guess, again, I'm probably compensating by, again, not having that full sort of tie back kind of Regency, like major gather flow in the back. So I know it would be faster to do a machine line around here, but if I do a machine line on the waistband to the skirt, then I'm going to have to do a machine line to the waistband to the bodice. And although that would be faster, I always feel like that leads to more problems, and that it may just be better to do it by hand. But as I said, it's exciting when things work out. So knock on wood, I haven't had a problem with the sleeve yet. Sometimes sleeves can be really kind of annoying. I'm more concerned maybe not so much with needing any kind of extra room here, any kind of gusset kind of insert. I'm sorry, I'm using technical sewing terms. I waver in sewing, where between here's something technical and named proper that has to be done properly, this is the way you do it, to, well, who cares, whatever. I'm just cutting it up and I'm doing it the way I want, which isn't always the best way. But I'm more concerned that how much of a gather I'm going to have at the sleeve, at the shoulder, because as I said, I don't want it to be super kind of poofy. You know, I'd rather save that kind of real kind of balloon kind of sleeve for the jacket. So that I have to see. But when I tried it on this way, reversed, it came out well. So, and that's another thing, I guess, you know, sewing it's not enough. Then it's like, well, then it's time to try it on. You know, when you're sewing for other people, you can just beeline through something and then say, oh, try it on, see if it fits. Oh, well, I can make a few adjustments. But for yourself, then all of a sudden there's just problems, you know, and you get stalled and you don't want to do it. And it's so funny. Rather than finish this, if you've been following some of my other videos, rather than finish this in my room upstairs, I brought it down on the form as is into the new little Kraft kind of studio without having finished it, which is probably not good. But my sewing machine is here, all my supplies and notions are here, and I love that I can see everything. I can see what I have, or I can see what I need, and I can see my storage, and at the same instance, I can hide the rest of the ugly stuff behind me. Although I do have skeletons here in my closet. I have skeletons. Woo! I have so many skeletons, they're falling all over the place. Woo! Oh my gosh, this little skeleton makes me look huge. No! No!